My name is Nairi. I have two adopted sons. Today we're going to talk about the cost of adoption, and I'm going to say right from the beginning that we adopted the boys from foster care, so our experiences will be different, I'm sure, from many other people's, but that doesn't mean to say that I can't tell you how costly I think adoption is. I just may not be able to give you some of the specifics that you may go through. So we've got 5 birth children, so I've brought up 5 children who are now adults, and I've got the boys who are now 10 and 11. And for me, I can't honestly say that I can see much of a difference between what we've done with the birth children and what we've done for the adopted children. If anything, we probably have spent more on the adopted boys simply because as time goes by, finances change, things change, so we probably have spent a little bit more on them. What I will say to you though, and this is the main thing that I want to say in this video, is that I think that adopted children take longer, they take more of your time, they take more therapy, they take more meetings, and I do actually think that that has a cost implication. So whereas when I was bringing my birth children up, it was kind of okay for me to work full time and my husband to work full time. I did work around that with my hours. When it came to my adopted sons, I found that things changed significantly, and that whereas I had a responsible job, I had to start thinking about what I was going to do for them and how I was going to be there for them more. And this really was a sacrifice financially in the end, because in the end, I actually decided to sell the business so I could spend more time with the boys. That decision in part was because I was getting older, but it was also because I felt they needed my time. And so the main cost really to adoption is your time. And when it comes to time, that might mean your work commitments have to change, have to be brought less, and you work less hours. There are other things, of course, that you need to think of when you adopt a child, is that depending on where they're coming from will depend on how much you're going to need to get for them. So we were already foster carers. We didn't need to go out and get new clothes, toys, resources for the children. You may have a child that comes from foster care that hasn't been there for very long, and therefore the foster carers have not had the chance to build up resources for the child. Or you may be having a foster to adopt where you are getting a baby to come straight to you or very quickly after the baby's born. In those situations, I think it is going to be more costly because you're going to need everything and you're going to need it really quickly. When people have children by birth, they build up their resources as they're going along. But if you suddenly get a 6-month-old to you, and that 6-month-old has been with a foster carer, but they've not really had chance to build up everything that's needed, from prams to slings to all the clothing and things that you would want to have for your child, then clearly it is going to be costly and quite quickly in one go. The same if the child is coming straight from hospital, you're going to need everything in one go. But from my experience of being a foster carer, and when we had a child for a significant amount of time, so say we had a child for more than 3 months, there's no way that we wouldn't have been buying most of the things that that child would need to move on for adoption. We'd make sure that there were plenty of clothes, plenty of toys, and pretty much everything that that child would need. However, of course, my taste and your taste might be completely different. So if I've got a child and I like a particular style, you may have that child and think, I don't like what that foster care has been dressing that child in. You might actually want to go out or feel you need to go out and buy a whole set of clothes again. The foster carer might buy certain toys that you are not that keen on. So perhaps they like buying very gendered specific toys, or they have gone all down the route of very educational toys and you want to give your child different experiences. Again, if they come with things and you're not too sure about them, then you will want to go out and buy more for them, and that could be quite costly. But the bottom line is, to my mind, there's not a huge amount of difference to me in having a biological child and how much you spend on them, and an adopted child and how much you spend on them. And it's down to how much you want to give as well. We could keep on going and keep giving to our sons, and sometimes we hold ourselves back because we've found that they have a lot of interest in material items and objects more than what our birth children did. We found with our birth children, although they liked gift and toys, they didn't seem to have such a desire to have them as what we find our adopted boys do. I feel like our adopted boys have an expectation of having material things and gifts, and sometimes they play too big a part in their lives and their need to be loved and wanted. So sometimes we try to hold back on overgiving and overspending. So there's that to consider too. Guys, I know this isn't a specific breakdown on what the different costs are for adoption, and I apologise for that, but I still hope the principles that I'm giving you are going to be helping you to make really good informed decisions when you adopt or if you've already adopted. If you enjoy my video, then take the time to look at my channel and subscribe, and then I can see you on my next videos.